it'll come as no surprise to many, but that was a total and abject failure. Waste of time. Shouldn't have messed about. Anyway, after I left you, it was yesterday, wasn't it? Day before yesterday, wasn't it? Yesterday, I tried again, and I don't know if I've cast granite instead of aluminium, because after about half an hour with that big drill I'd done a few thou. So I took it out, drilled 2 holes down the middle, and tried again. That was no good. So I drilled some more holes, and with my junior hacksaw I cut through the holes and cut the middle bit out, and then that drill did actually go through nearly to the bottom. So you can still see the holes I drilled there. I haven't gone through yet. Anyway, I then thought, well, this is the bit I was going to show you, boring, with this little boring bar. But in there, no, I knew it wasn't firm enough, but all it did was chatter. And you might just be able to see in there where it still is. So I thought, oh, you know, how can I do it? So I tried the Dremel. I could have done it with the Dremel. That would have took about 2 years. I tried filing it. That would have took 4 years. So, you know, anyway, I chucked it in the floor and went downstairs and had a think. And I've come up with this idea. Of course, all we're doing is making cover now. We're not doing anything else. So, what I've done, put a new blade in my hacksaw, and I've sawn down there, and then if I just cut, I can now cut this out. You just take the blade out the hacksaw and put it back in there and saw that out, and then put it on the drill with the depth stop and drill down, because of course with tons of material, you know, it doesn't need that much. We only need enough for 2 of those cap screws in it. And just remember that we, you know, it's going to be covered by these caps that I cut off. I'm sure you remember that. So that's what holds the liner in place. This is the other bit of pipe. But so we've got 2 if something goes wrong. So that now will go down there, you see. There's still plenty of room on the sides, which I can now get better, can't I? I can get it, you know, because there's a lot less material, I can get it flat and square now. A lot better than it was, because I mean, I don't mind being a bit rough, but for my neck. In years to come, if someone found this and took it to pieces and saw that mess in there, they'd say, oh man, this bloke must have been rough. Fancy doing that. They still say that now, but at least it won't be quite so bad, will it? Anyway, that's my new plan, and it should work all right. So, because as I said, I still want to use this for the looks of the cylinder. That's all. You know, I just quite like the look of it. That's the only thing. So that's where we're at so far. So what I'll do, I'll just get on a bit now, and I'll show you. I'll just get that chopped out, and I'm going to drill a few holes in there, a little bit like I did on the side, you know, and then we can sand and file it a bit, might be a bit later, and that'll make it look something like. Then we can get on and get the caps done. The only thing I haven't worked out, because they're small, that was sanded before I cut it off, and I may be able to just hold it in the vise to file it, but even to put it on the sander, you know, you can't really hold it or anything. So I'm going to have to work out that, because they have to be, well, as I say, I've got a lot better chance now, haven't I? Because I want them to look some semi-decent, you know, so we can cut them down, and then the liner can come out the bottom, and we can think of a way of holding it, because it's not going to move, is it? Not going to do anything. Oh, by the way, something else I did the other day I've not shown you, still needs a bit of work, and I made that, don't think I've shown you, and I made that like a little cam, and that's what drives the spool valve. The only thing is, I took it out now, but one of those cap screws, I did actually, it's here, it's small. I've got a piece, I put it in here I think, out of Alan's treasure box, of stainless tube. I did that one, but it hasn't worked very well, so I'll just leave a longer piece. And we only want a tiny piece, do we? Because, something else I've not told you, to drive it, if you like the crankshaft, I've got that nice bit of brass. And I thought that would look good, just to cut a thin piece out. Let me just show you this. Right, just cut a thin piece out like that, with a little hole in the end, just straight, don't want to be fancy, and a little hole in that end that goes inside the spool valve, which is simply a rod, and somewhere there, I don't think I want to use that brass rod, but it's not round enough. This appears to be pretty round, and I don't need much, so, and as long as I can get a reasonably accurate hole for that to slide in, because it won't be very long, and it only moves 3/4 of an inch. I mean, it, you know, it only does that. As you can see, it's as you can see from there, you know, when that goes round, it doesn't move very far, does it? So that shouldn't be a problem. Anyway, that's what we're doing so far. So anyway, I'll just get on, and we'll have another little go at this, and see if we can salvage anything. But no, I was playing about. I won't show you boring, you see, but no. That was a waste of time, but I'm not worried about that. Alright, show you something in a little while, hopefully. Well, we're not quite there yet, but you have to agree that's looking better. Yeah, just lightly sanded it a bit, but yeah, I'm a bit better now. My arm aches a bit. I've still got a little bit more firing and sanding to do, but I've just, as I say, very gently put it on the belt sander. But that's going to, seriously, that's going to nearly be enough, because here's the piece it goes on. I've still got to cut it down and find out, so that will go on now. That will go on there like that, you see. That obviously that way up, so that's on its side, and then that will be the bottom, and it's got to be quite a simple job to get a hole in that. Just drill a ring of holes, get it out and file it, and then I can then fit it back in its place, you see, and the liner will come out the bottom of it. That will hold the liner just in place, and if I'm careful filing this hole, especially if I do it at a slight angle, I should be able to get it, you know, quite a tight fit. And then to hold the liner, because it won't take any holding, it's not, nothing's going to happen to it, is it, you know. So I think just a very slight indent in the side, and one of those bolts, those cap screws, you know, just a very, very slight countersink in there, and one of those cap screws through there, and it'll press it, it'll be held there, you see, so it'll just come and a little indent there. I better shine the camera where I'm pointing, and and it'll just have a little indent somewhere along here to hold it, you know, and we'll come near the bottom edge, so the piston isn't, well, it probably won't even pass it that far down. We'll see. Anyway, so we've made some progress at last. After 2 days of playing that didn't work, we've got somewhere. Right, what's next? Probably finish this off. I'm not sure. and yes, I think that's as good a step as any, because the only big problem left is to get a hole for a bit of bar that's a good fit for the spool valve. That's the only bit that I can see. That's not quite thick enough, is it? I want to have a practice first, you see. I might use that and just drill, and I've got a reamer for that bar, but it's a taper reamer. Shame really, but anyway, I might just have a look at that, because that bar's 3/8, and just for a play, you know, that'll be enough, just to see if we can get it a good fit. So that's it. We're coming on a bit. I think. What are we now? By the time we're done, probably halfway there. I think something like that. So we're getting on a bit. Anyway, something to show you. You know, something to show you. That's lightened it up. It still needs. I might go and get another file actually. That one was all right. Did the job all right, but you know, just needs a bit of work now, doesn't it? But I think we've made slight progress. All right, thanks a lot. Cheers.